Homelessness is widespread in America, and the causes of homelessness range from poverty to disasters, and from choice to illness. The issue of homelessness in America is not something new. Homelessness has been with us since the Pilgrims first arrived on the Mayflower. William Bradford records how the first community of Pilgrims helped the needy when they lost their homes or experienced illnesses. Homelessness is an issue that many individuals want to resolve. A common way these individuals attempt to resolve homelessness is through the contribution of material goods to homeless individuals. Two summarizing questions this video desires to explore are: does this method of donating material goods to homeless individuals actually work, and what are the results of donating material goods to homeless individuals? But the ultimate question of all is this: what is the result of contributing material goods to homeless individuals? In a moment, we will hear from several homeless individuals and aid agencies who will give their answer in response to this question. Some will say the result is positive, some will say the result is negative. In order to reach a conclusion, I will take the information I have collected and will set them on a scale, determining which has greater effect. Greater effect will be determined by the welfare of the homeless individual. If the overall welfare of the homeless individual surveyed is primarily negative after receiving material goods, then negative will weigh more, and vice versa if the welfare is positive. The one with the greatest effect will be discussed and explained. Whatever the result, we will also examine existing solutions to the problems of homelessness.
It helps me. I don't do drugs or alcohol.
Yeah.
I did. I was an alcoholic for years and years and years. The reason why is I married my high school sweetheart. I was with her since I was 14.
Yeah.
She died 6 years ago.
I'm sorry.
So I was with her a little over 30 years. So I kind of just went over the edge, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I just kind of just took off. I left everything I owned.
Yeah.
Took off. When people give me stuff, I don't ask for nothing that I don't need.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I needed a pair of shoes. I walked 5 miles in the rain.
Yeah.
And my shoes fell apart, so I bought these cheap things.
Right.
They're falling apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, if somebody asks me, do I need something to eat?
Yeah.
That's like the easiest sign to fly, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
to hold is, you're hungry, and if they ask you, what do you want to eat? And I usually tell them the truth. Like, man, I really don't need nothing to eat, because what you're going to spend for me a meal,
Yeah.
you could buy me a cheap pair of gym shoes or
Right.
a shirt or,
Yeah.
some underwear or something. They just use it for drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
That's all they use it for.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll see them walking around here dirty, nasty,
Yeah.
duct tape around their shoes and
Yeah.
everything else like that. I'm not going to walk around like that. I try to stay pretty clean, do my laundry,
Right.
I try to keep pretty good gear. I don't want to blend in, and I don't hang around with nobody. I got my dog, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
I don't need, I don't mind associating with people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, intelligent people.
Right.
But I can't deal with drunks, can't
Yep.
get high people and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I just can't deal with them.
Right. In New York City during the 1980s, Broadway Presbyterian Church operated a soup kitchen that fed nearly 250 each day. Amy Sherman reports in her book, Restorers of Hope, that as the soup kitchen continued, the church leaders began to be troubled. They saw many of their dinner guests sleeping in cardboard boxes throughout the city. They also realized that 85% of those eating in the soup kitchen were on drugs. By the time 1991 rolled around, Broadway Presbyterian Church came to the conclusion that they weren't really helping the homeless through their soup kitchen. Rather, the soup kitchen was enabling aid recipients to continue in their self-destructive patterns. Back in Texas, a white van containing a Hispanic family of 5 ran out of gas on a Sunday right outside Bethel Bible Church. Though they barely spoke English, they managed to draw up a sign asking for gas and money. Taking their sign, they stood right outside the church as the sermon ended and members returned home. The family had been in Houston, Texas, obtaining a visa to live and work in America. They had no home, and they were on their way north to find some work. Many of the people gave them large amounts of money, but no one was meeting their real need. I was one of the church members leaving that day, so I walked up to the family and asked them, "Hey guys, what is it you need?" "Gasoline," they said. So gasoline I got. I went and got a red gas container and filled it with gas, then returned and gave it to the family. We talked for a moment as they filled up their tank, and then I said, "God bless," and left. The family piled up in the van behind me and drove north. Though the gas and money our church gave them helped them this time, they may not be so fortunate the next time around. Our gifts only helped them then and there in the short run.
Well, because usually when I come out here, I learn nothing at all.
Yeah.
And my sign says anything helps, so if they give me food, that's fine, you know.
Okay.
Because I hold a sign, but I never ask people for any money.
Yeah.
If they want to help, fine. If they don't, let me drive by.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Sometimes you get people that say bad, hateful things to you, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm used to that.
Okay. As I walked the streets of Tyler, Texas, I came across a 65-year-old black man who told me his name was James Peterson. James declined to be filmed, but offered to tell me his story. When James was 16 years old, he was put in prison for a violent felony. James eventually got out of prison and got hooked on drugs. His lifestyle declined as a result, and he began to look for help. He soon entered into the local Salvation Army rehab program. He went through the program and got off drugs. Somewhere along those years, he went to college and got a degree. But as finances grew, times got hard again for James, and as he got older, he became homeless again. He returned to the Salvation Army asking for help. They gave him some food. James complained to the Salvation Army about a bad toothache. They gave him a checkup and sent him to the doctor. The doctor told James to rest. James went back to the Salvation Army and told them what the doctor said. The Salvation Army said they wouldn't let James keep eating there if he didn't work. James said he couldn't because of what the doctor said. The Salvation Army then checked James' criminal record and found his felony. They told James he could no longer receive help from them. James was furious. He left. And to this day, he is still homeless without the aid of the Salvation Army. James depended on the Salvation Army to continually meet his needs because they first gave him a handout. When he discovered that he would have to work for food, he got angry. Granted, his doctor said he needed rest, but it was his mouth that needed rest, not his body. James represents thousands of homeless people who shun work because they received a handout. This is one of the many negatives that giving material goods to the homeless brings. Of course, there are problems with the Salvation Army too. Though the Salvation Army's standard of no work, no food is good, it doesn't address those who can't work and those who have a felony like James. Though we have seen that contributing to the homeless has some positive short-term benefits, overall it appears as if the contribution of donors to homeless individuals has a larger negative impact on the welfare of the homeless than a positive one. So what are some ways to respond to homelessness that have actually worked? The Broadway Presbyterian Church that we took a look at earlier from New York had their own solution. Instead of giving out food for free, dinner guests had to obtain a ticket to get their meal. This encouraged participants to plan ahead and take some initiative. Additionally, the ministry began encouraging the diners to volunteer to set up, serve, and clean up the meals, thereby feeling as if they earned their meal. Volunteers who showed up consistently and on time were given the opportunity to be rewarded with paid positions. These positions included free meals and a small stipend. If these individuals further proved themselves, they could be promoted to supervisors with larger salaries. This encouraged the homeless to easily transfer into a steady work routine. The church then began a program called Street Smart that paid the homeless $3.35 per hour to sweep streets in front of nearby businesses. If the workers prove their responsibility and timeliness, they can increase their pay in 25-cent increments, thus preparing to reinstate these men into the labor force. Several individuals and organizations in Texas have seen the great need for the homeless and those in poverty. One individual that saw a need in Tyler began a ministry to the homeless called Hunger for Love.
Really, basically, Hunger for Love is a ministry that a kid named Jason Islicker started to really just kind of come alongside these people and to love them and to kind of live life with them and feed them and just kind of give them a taste of Christianity and give them a taste of God without overwhelming them. Really, it's for anybody who's just broken, but what it's specifically designed towards is people in North Tyler who are just broken, people who are homeless just living on the streets, really anybody just in that area that needs help most. It provides a very positive place to come get a meal instead of like going to a church or Salvation Army or whatnot, because it's really not anything meaningful to just kind of providing meals. But what this is designed to do, it's designed to really build relationships and build families and just get to know people's stories. I mean, Travis White, the head guy of Mission Tyler, and Jason Essler, the head guy of Hunger for Love, their entire thing was like they just want people to know their stories and just get to know each other and just love each other and really just grow up around each other, to feed each other, to clothe each other. And they provide just as much to people as much as we do. I mean, there's times where I've needed things and I can call up someone that's, living on the streets and they'll know exactly what I'm talking about and know exactly how to deal with it. And so, I mean, it's kind of like a back and forth relationship instead of just, us going there, doing something and then coming back. It's a good step up ministry from, not doing anything to starting to like get into it, because it's still close to home, but it's far enough away from home where it gets you out of your comfort zone. And so it's not one of those things where you just kind of go serve food and you're done. I mean, it's kind of like when you get there, you're completely immersed in the culture of North Tyler. Like, you're completely immersed in them. Like, you're playing with kids and you're doing other things. So it's a good step up.
Hunger for Love seeks to resolve the homeless problem with weekly community, love, and the meeting of homeless needs. They don't merely give the homeless a material solution, but they also give a spiritual solution and a community of love. Close to Hunger for Love is another organization called Cornerstone Assistance Network.
This is East Texas Cornerstone Assistance Network. We receive referrals from nonprofits in the East Texas community. We work on a referral-only basis, and we partner with other agencies. When clients are referred, we meet with them, assess their needs if we can help find housing, help find jobs. We have a jobs coordinator here, and we encourage clients to work for their own assistance so that they are able to feel that they have their dignity and maintain their dignity in helping themselves get their bills paid.
Cornerstone Assistance Network does not seek to aid the homeless by giving out free material goods, because they believe this does more harm than good. Rather, Cornerstone seeks to aid the homeless by providing opportunities for the homeless to work for what they need. In doing this, Cornerstone believes they are preserving the dignity and respect of the homeless individual, while at the same time teaching them work skills they can use to support themselves for the rest of their lives. In conclusion, many people want to help the homeless, but don't know how. And when they do try to help, they only end up harming the homeless individual even more. Giving things to the homeless, even meeting their survival needs, is almost always negative unless accompanied by something else. As we have seen, that something else is usually work, a job, community, love, spirituality, or relationships. When giving does come a part of one of these supplements, it becomes meaningful and helpful to the homeless individual.